check my door. Make sure my door is not cracked, broken, damaged, no illegal welds, nuts and bolts are tied properly and secure. Make sure it opens and closes properly, and the seal around the inside is not cut or torn to prevent any leaks. My access bar, do not forget this is 2 points. Not cracked, broken, damaged, no illegal welds, all nuts and bolts are tied properly and secure. We're gonna check the weather stripping, make sure it's not cut or torn to prevent any leaks. Check my hinges, both ends, make sure they're not bent, cracked, or damaged, and no sign of rust. Even though you did these mirrors on the end cap, you still got to do it on the pre-trip. I check my mirror and my mirror brackets, both not cracked, broken, damaged, no illegal welds, nuts and bolts are tied properly and secure. My mirror is adjusted to my rear view, no illegal stickers, and the seal around it is not cut or torn to prevent vibrations. From here, I'm gonna start my fuel tank. Not cracked, broken, damaged, no illegal welds, nuts and bolts are tied properly and secure. Make sure my cap opens and closes properly. The seal around the inside is not cut or torn to prevent any leaks. I'll check my cables, make sure they're not loose, frayed to prevent short circuits or corrosions. Check my fuel line for any abrasions, bubbles, or cuts. Check my fuel tank brackets, not cracked, broken, damaged, no illegal welds, nuts and bolts are tied properly and secure. Check underneath my fuel tank for any fuel leaks. All right, moving down, I will check my steps, my battery box, and my catwalk. I named all three because they had the same material. Not cracked, broken, damaged, no illegal welds, nuts and bolts are tied properly and secure. Make sure I have no grease, no oil, no debris to prevent accidents. My battery box should have three batteries in here, fully charged, working properly. In my catwalk, I named all three because they had the same material. Not cracked, broken, damaged, no illegal welds, nuts and bolts are tied properly and secure. Make sure I have no grease, no oil, no debris to prevent accidents. My battery box should have three batteries in here, fully charged, working properly. From here, I'm gonna go on my utility lamp. This is the light of my catwalk to connect my hoses. Not cracked, broken, damaged, all nuts and bolts are tied properly and secure, no missing bulbs, and the proper color is clear. I go on my spring and my spring bracket, both not cracked, broken, damaged, no illegal welds, nuts and bolts are tied properly and secure. Make sure my hoses is properly connected to my spring. My connection from my tractor to my hoses is not cut or torn to prevent any leaks. I have red is for emergency, blue is service line, no abrasions, bubbles, and cuts. My black line is my electricity line, not loose freight to prevent short circuits or corrosions. From here, I'm gonna start with my glad hands. Make sure they're not cracked, broken, damaged, no illegal welds, nuts and bolts are tied properly and secure, and the seal around the inside is not cut or torn to prevent any leaks. This is my dry shaft. The end, my U-joints. You can see them over here too. All right, my U-joints. And this piece right here is my differential. Not cracked, broken, damaged, no illegal welds, all nuts and bolts are tied properly and secure. Make sure my U-joints is properly lubricated and the seal around my differential is not cut or torn to prevent any leaks. Stay up there. All right, I'm starting my mud flap, not cracked, broken, damaged, all nuts and bolts are tied properly and secure. Should have DOT reflectors in place, proper color red and white, no more than 8 inches above the ground. My tail lights back here, not cracked, broken, damaged, nuts and bolts are tied properly and secure, no missing bulbs. I'll start with my reverse light. Should be clear in color, working properly. I go with my 4-way flashers. My signal lights and my brake lights should be red in color, no missing bulbs, and working properly. All right? All this shit is memory, because you see I'm not. All right, I'm gonna start with my second axle. Since I did my first axle, if you get B section, you cannot say I would check my second axle the way I check my first. If you only get B section and you have to start your second axle, you're gonna start with this. My second axle consists of spring mount, torque, spring leaf, and the end of the spring leaf, I have a saddle and I have U-bolts in the inside, same as the front. Every time you have a spring mount, you have a leaf spring. Every time you have a leaf spring, you have saddle and you have U-bolts. Not cracked, broken, damaged, no illegal welds, nuts and bolts are tied properly and secure. My leaf spring should not be shifted, bent, and have no more than 25% of damage in this case. From there, I have my shocks. You can come on each side. Same as the front, I have my shocks. Not cracked, broken, damaged, no illegal welds, all nuts and bolts are tied properly and secure. The seal around the inside is not cut or torn to prevent any leaks. My airbag has no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts. Right, so I gotta come back on this side real quick. I have a dual brake chamber. All right, which means my push rod is adjusted to 2 inches. My slack adjuster, when pulled by hand at a 90-degree angle. My push rod when I travel more than 2 inches with the brakes released. If I need them adjusted, I have a mechanic do so. Make sure they're not cracked, broken, damaged, no illegal welds, not supposed to tie properly and secure. That's it for the second axle. That's only if you didn't do the first. If they want the differences between the first and the second axle, it's just a torque, an airbag, and a dual brake chamber. All right? That's the difference. All right? I make sure that this tires should be evenly worn. This tire can be used or rethreaded. Make sure I have a 4-inch gap in between both tires. This tire depth should be at 232 seconds in depth. Tire pressures can be at 100 psi, manufacturer specifications. Sidewalls, no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts. Make sure it's the proper size rim for the tire. Lug nuts is present, tight and secure. No sign of rust, indicate a loose lug nut. I have a self-lubricating hub, not cracked, broken, damaged, no illegal welds, not supposed to tie properly and secure. That's it. Right now, I can check my third axle exactly the same way that I check my second. Only thing different is I have a single brake chamber, which means that my push rod is adjusted to 1 inch. My slack adjuster when pulled by hand at a 90-degree angle. My push rod when I travel more than 1 inch with the brakes released. If I need them adjusted, I have a mechanic do so. All right? Same as the tires. I don't have to do the tires no more because I just explained them. They're exactly the same. You still have a spring mount, torque, leaf spring, saddle, U-bolt, shock, airbag. All right? Tires still 232 seconds in depth. Sidewalls, no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts. 4-inch gap between. Lug nuts. And you have a self-lubricating hub, just like the second. Everything exactly the same except the brake chamber. Fifth wheel, most important piece of the truck. This is my apron. This is my fifth wheel. Not cracked, broken, damaged, no illegal welds, nothing supposed to tie properly and secure. Make sure I see no light between my apron and my fifth wheel. If I see light, that means I'll have steering problems. If I have steering problems, I will add grease. From there, my kingpin connected to my apron, locking jaws inside of my fifth wheel, both not bent, cracked, or damaged, no illegal welds, nothing supposed to tie properly and secure. I make sure that my locking jaws locks around my kingpin, around my shank with the head down. I'm gonna say it again. I make sure that my locking jaws locks around my kingpin, around my shank with the head down. When that happens, my release arm is in, which lets me know my safety latch is in place and my locking jaws are closed. From there, I'll check my pivot pin and my platform. Not cracked, broken, damaged, no illegal welds, nothing supposed to tie properly and secure. My airline has no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts.